Ramona Park Broke My Heart by Vince Staples. 16 songs, 41 minutes long. This is the response return of Vince Staples. He released his self titled project in 2021. And to me, Vince Staples has sort of like been doing like a round two of his career, if you will, because he had an early discography where I think he did a pretty good job of going into, not just kind of coming up into rap, but also describing the story of where he grew up in Long Beach, California, of different experiences he's had, both kind of flexing different ways as an artist, but different other things. But I remember last year, right before the self-titled album came out, Vince Staples said he talked to St. John or something like that, like an artist that we really don't like, who didn't make a good album, and basically gave him the advice of, listen, you can't do all of the hip sort of, or you can't do all the underground rapper backpacky kind of stuff all the time when you are like trying to make it to the mainstream, basically saying like you have to make stuff that will work for the broader audience, right? And I think that's fair, interesting advice. I don't want Vince Staples to change his message or anything he's doing like that. But I felt that, when you combine Summertime '06, Hell Can Wait, Big Fish Theory, Prima Donna, like you, even a little bit of FM, you had Vince Staples and a really good way of describing his full career, but also getting into politics when he wants to and making those songs hits. Like maybe not like big played everywhere all the time hits, but also kind of like songs like from Big Fish Theory, like Bag Back, Rain Come Down,
Yeah.
are played everywhere and still and used in a lot of things. But it's to say, these past two albums, Vince Staples has sort of been giving another go at not redefining, but sort of reintroducing himself in musically, right? With the first album, it's very much like, this is a very quick, Vince Staples' a self-titled project, I mean. It's kind of a very quick, okay, here's 22 minutes. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world of Vince Staples. And I thought it was really concise. I loved it. It was one of our Album of the Year nominations. This one is longer. It, I think, is Vince's most forceful and confident move into kind of doing this trap and B kind of flow thing yet. Something that I've thought, I don't know if Vince can really do this well, and I think is actually pretty well executed here.
It's interesting, yeah.
Sorry, that was a lot. It's like, this is Vince Staples redefining
fine. I'm
himself.
still trying to. This is an album that I still don't know my opinion on it. There are some parts of it I really like. There's some parts of it that I don't necessarily care for much, but they might grow on me later down. The big thing that I do like a lot from Vince is his versatility. He is, from his first EP of Hell Can Wait, going all the way up to this new record, like you have such a wide range. You have songs like Lift Me Up, Blue Suede, Screen Door, tracks like that, early on in his career, which, are harder trap songs, about game banging, growing up in the hood in Long Beach and all of that, and, dictating, kind of going through his life and all of that. And then you kind of get more experimentation with Big Fish Theory, and then his self-titled record last year, which I do like a lot, is still more of those trap motifs. He had a little bit of experimentation with that, but the only big one that before was Big Fish Theory, where you had a lot of experimentation. You had Sophie produce a lot of that record, and he had a lot of that stuff, which I liked, and I want him to kind of go more into, but he didn't really dabble into it much since then. But with Ramona Park Broke My Heart, he's now going into more of, broadening out his horizon, doing more of this trap and beat thing, kind of still doing the same stuff within his lyricism, of having good flows, talking about, where he kind of grew up, where he's at now, the paths that he was at from, starting with nothing and kind of now going into where you have that fame and stardom and all of that, and just looking back a little bit of saying, oh my God, how did I make it and all of that, but in more of a trap and B style, more of, you're slowed it down a little bit. Production it's good. It's not cliche, because, with a lot of trap and B, you can get really bad production where it's just overdone, overused. But with this, it's nice. It's a little bit of experimentation here or there, but it's nothing that will knock you out of the park either. I think it's a safe safe, good pivot for him to do, because it's good for him in his career because he needs to do that. And I said that in this last record too. I was like, he needs to, make a pivot somehow and do something different, because we've had 6 or 7 records of really good rap, but now what else can you do? And with this, it's great. I do want more from it. There's still a little bit lacking. I think he's holding back a little bit here. But overall, it's a project I like. It's just, I'm gonna have to listen to it a lot for it to really grow on me, because I didn't know what kind of going to expect going in, but I wasn't expecting it to be too slow like this record is. But there's some really good tracks.
Yeah, I mean, for all the things you said there, I think that this is a good pivot. I'm glad that he made it in this way. And even if we don't like it at first go, I think that, yeah, I've listened to it just because I have my Vince Staples bias. I've listened to this like 5 times. And I enjoy
it a good 3 or 4 times too.
I enjoy it a little bit more with every single listen. I find things I like it a little bit more with every single listen. There's some things where the opinions I haven't really changed on every single listen. This is, like, for Vince Staples project, one of the longest feeling Vince Staples projects I've felt in a minute. And there are even times where, I wouldn't say it's filler, but like they're definitely like interludes that, I don't know, I'm actually sort of like fine with.
They're okay with interludes, but like going like the music of it, it starts off with The Beach, which is a little interlude, and then I Free the Homies, which is the most fucking Vince Staples titled track in the world. When I saw that,
can I just say he shouts out Winco in there? Just thank you, man. Appreciate you.
That's why it used to be called the Vince Staples Vocal World Award for the longest time, until No Name just threw down the Communist Manifesto in a fucking album. So now it's the No Name Vocal Award until we say it's not. But like with that, it's like when you get to I Fear the Homies, you go, oh, okay, it's more like a trap and B. The thing with that one is like his vocals didn't suit that song in the way it's made. But then like kind of skipping a little bit further towards that like beginning middle of the record, you have a track called When Sparks Fly, which I fucking love. And I really like the way he incorporated his rapping with the more of that chilled back R&B style that I really, really like. That bridge between neo-pop, kind of a little bit of experimental stuff, and then some rap in there. And I really like that. And that's a pivot that I enjoy. I wish he had a little bit more of that.
Yeah, I really... First of all, I think it's A, not I. So like, want to be careful with that. Not song 2. A.
Oh, yeah.
A. But I what was I going to say? Annie really loved previous often Audioface guest, secret contributor. Really loved When Sparks Fly as well. It was like one of the perfect like soothing things. So really a lot of things from that track that people really enjoyed. Shout out to Freno for the production on that. And I thought that was one of the better executions, an example of really good execution of Vince Staples doing the trap and B thing. I thought the previous best execution was Take Me Home with Fushi.
Take Me Home, yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty good. But yeah, I found that when you had there's a little bit of experimentation in production where you had songs that just sounded like this would have to be a Vince Staples kind of production. DJ Quick, for example, sounds kind of moody and backdroppy, even though you don't have that production from, I'm forgetting. He's really good. Kenny Beats, yes, who you usually have him doing things on like production for Vince Staples. You have had him recently, and that's helped with his sort of avant-garde technological sort of sound, robot video game beats, if you will. But he's not on there, and you see that other producers are able to fit into this thing and make their songs work. Magic is a very good like Long Beach sounding flow, like styling, just the way the beat kind of works out. It really works really well for Vince Staples and the way he raps over things. East Point Prayer was the song that you did have Kenny Beats on, and you do have this album. We haven't touched on it very much. Very few like collaborations. There's Mustard, who kind of like does some production, some interlude and Magic. East Point Prayer has Lil Baby in there, and then Lemonade with Ty Dolla $ign. Both Ty Dolla $ign and Lil Baby do very, very good on here. Those are basically the only two features, and they kill it. They do great. Lil Baby's very quickly becoming one of my like rappers to watch when it comes to lyricism, talent, just performing really well. Really good job there. Ty Dolla $ign, that's really well known and good. My personal favorite on here might be Paper Cuts, just because I think it's the best evolution of Vince Staples' basic sort of not basic, I mean, but his standard, how he raps, how he flows, the way he talks about things. I think that's the best update of it for 2022.
Yeah, I think that I can get on board with that. Yeah, I really like the production of this record a lot. I think all of the producers that worked on it kind of gelled together, which is nice. Nobody had too much of a pull in any which way. It was very cohesive and concise with it, which is good too, and very difficult to do when you have multiple very good producers working together. It doesn't always work out. That part I like a lot, but yeah, overall the record. Yeah, I think it's going to take me a while to really get into this record, but it's a good pivot for Vince. I think it's great for his career, great for his musicianship and everything, and excited for the future to see what happens. And I'm going to be listening to this record a ton, and I, implore you to do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. We have our Vince Staples, Long Beach Bias, etc. I think this is another great record. I think this moves him in a good direction. I think it challenges us as people who are fans of Vince Staples, which is
it
good.
Challenges me big time as a fan of Vince Staples' work to, now as like a music reviewer for the past 5 years, it's like, okay, I really got to see this for what it is that, and now it's trying to get my bias out from before too. So it's one of those it's hard. Really hard to review in that
Not
way.
to pat ourselves in the back, but like we do have a good ability to be able to notice that, we as fans can go, we want Vince Staples to do more of his old shit. This is a big pivot for him. But
it's good for him to do that.
Yeah, as critics, we also know that's overall a good thing, even if we as fans aren't immediately digging it. And as a fan, I'm digging most of it, and I can see myself liking it more and more over time.
Paper Cuts goes hard. Lemonade with Ty Dolla $ign I like a lot too. So it's just tracks that it's gonna grow on me. I already know it. Every time I listen to this record, I like it more and more. So yeah, good effort.
Yeah. Arbitrary scale this week. We do arbitrary scales every week on Audioface because our review is our review. If we said it any differently, or made it any differently, then that wouldn't be an arbitrary scale in the first place. So here she blows. This week it's going to be 2x4s or like lumber sizes, to be specific, because I went down a whole like rabbit hole. A 2x4 is not shaped or sized like a 2x4. It's a whole different measurement thing. But
1.5 to 3.5 or something like that. So
yeah. So it almost makes sense if you like round the last number up. Like if you round all the numbers up, like 1.5 inch is almost 2, and 3.5 is almost 4, in like a purely accounting kind of sense. But like, yeah, that's your random fact for the day at the end of this Vince Staples review. Anyways, this is going to be the old reliable 2x4. You could do a lot by
2x4. A 2x4. That's fine. I think this is a good. This is a good 2x8. 2x8.
2x8.
Solid 2x8. Yeah.
What's the reasoning for that?
You can do a lot with the 2x8. You can cut it. You can cut a little bit and make it 2x4 if you need to, and have a little less.
2x4s.
You could figure it out.
That's very true. Very fair point. Remember, thank you.
With him.
Thank you for listening to this review and listening to this podcast. You can help grow Audioface by following us on Twitter and Instagram. Like our videos, comment on our videos. Channel's blowing up lately, especially our Motomami review. So thank you for commenting and liking those videos. We really appreciate it. Shout out to Spanish listeners of Audioface. YouTube.com/AudiofacePod for all of that kind of stuff. Rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcast. You can rate on Spotify now, so definitely rate us on there. We'd really appreciate that as well. Tell people about the show in real life. That is really cool. On the latest edition of Power Report, like I said, there's a recent one on me versus Kyle Kalinske and stuff that he's doing with Joe Rogan. Dave Rubin selling his entire soul for money and realizing he's not getting any friends in return. It was a really sad story, but I mean, like, I feel bad editing it. A lot of people really liked it, so there's that.